What connects French architect Paul Gourdet with the historical center of Almaty? Why is the Zharkent Mosque the single surviving work of Chinese architect on Pike? Where is Valikhanov's manor house city Mbiet located? Forgotten names and little-known facts, recent history and national color. All this is in the Grand Buildings program. Today in our program, what is the sacred secret of Han Pikwe Zharkent Pagoda? Mosque named after Mashkur Jusup in Pavlodar. What project has become a symbol of the north of Kazakhstan with a period of quarter of a century? Canonical style of the central mosque in Usk-Kamenogorsk. New approaches in Islamic architecture. For 15-year-old Zemfira Ginakhunova and her counterparts, a tour of the wooden mosque is more than a cultural walk. Several generations of her family lived and live in Zharkent. Great-grandfathers participated in construction, grandfathers went here to pray, and as it happened, Zemfira's parents found their favorite work in these wooden walls. For the indigenous residents of Zharkent, the unique temple is not only a tourist attraction, it is a part of their history. They know it and really love it.
The
construction of Zharkent Mosque began in 1887 and ended in 1895. The architecture of this mosque was Han Pak. He built this mosque without a single nail, only of wood. Zharkent Mosque is one of the few wooden structures in the world built without a single nail. Steel fasteners were not used both for the construction of walls and for the building up of columns. Its architectural appearance is also unusual. The domes of the Eastern Central Asian Mosque are combined with the roof elements of the Buddhist pagoda. The wooden structure has been more than 100 years old, and it is justly a visiting card of South Kazakhstan. Construction was conducted under the leadership of 37-year-old Chinese architect Han Pikwe. In 1887, the architect was specially invited from the Celestial Empire, where he had already implemented a similar project in Shanghai. In Zharkent, Han Pikwe led the construction of the mosque for 8 long years. Only in 1895, a unique temple striking in beauty and grace was completed. By the way, the main sponsor of the construction was the local merchant philanthropist Joly Yildashev. The inscription preserved at the entry portal holds about it. It is made in Arabic script in Uyghur language. In translation, it sounds like this: the person who wants to know the owner of this mosque, it's me, Joly Yildashev. Joly Yildashev threw all his forces here. He took upon himself all organizational work. 1,050 masters were invited for construction, including 35 to 37 people separately who worked directly with the tree. When building the temple, they used strong round logs of Tian Shan spruce. They were brought to Zharkent from Aksu and Ketman mountains, which is 200 kilometers from the city. The wood was dried, processed, and neatly folded. Han Pikwe selected wooden billets for 5 years. Then in just one summer, they gathered a spiritual temple. The framing was made of wooden poles connected by beams. Zharkent Mosque was built of Tian Shan spruce. Here, 122 posts are inserted in the circular. Architect Han Pikwe had been working for 5 years here for free to show his style of work. The free work of the Chinese architect is one of the sacred legends. Allegedly, Han Pikwe dreamed to build an architectural masterpiece in his homeland in China, but he could not. Moreover, in Zharkent, he worked for free to have the opportunity to spring the idea to life. However, there is another legend. According to it, on the contrary, the architect was afraid not to get wages for his titanic work and even used the trick to take money for the project.
Но передняя колонна у него оказалась косая.
The front column made by him was oblique and curved. They made a remark saying that the column is curved, and he says, when they pay, then it will straighten up. He was paid, he showed the workers what places to hit, and the column really straightened up.
Рабочим в какие места стукнуть, и колонна выпрямили.
Woodworkers from all over the region were gathered on a grandiose construction. For the well-coordinated work of the multinational brigade, translators were invited from Chinese and several Turkic languages. At the same time, not only carpenters, but also highly skilled woodcarvers, artists, and even painters had worked in guild. Mostly Muslims had worked, Kazakhs, Uyghurs, Dungans, different nationalities, but yes, mostly Muslims. Kazakhs made their Kazakh ornaments. Uyghurs, Dungans made their flower ornaments. They painted in different ways.
Рисовали там цветочки разные, ну, по-разному.
The walls and cornices are painted with bright colors. Basically, it is red, yellow, and green tones. In ornament, plant motifs dominate. However, among the variety of flowers and grasses, it is easy to notice the outlines of birds, fish, and animals. A trained eye will find even holograms here. A century later, the unlimited imagination of masters make tourists think and adapt images to modern reality. The ornament is of such nature. This year, one man came from Germany and he looks at this ornament and says, "This pattern is our Germanic." We tell them, no, it is not yours, it was before. It is our old Kazakh ornament.
Это не ваш, это раньше было, а это уже старый наш узор, казахский орнамент.
Han Piquet managed to combine the traditional style of Central Asian mosque with elements of the Celestial Empire's architecture. The inalienable attributes of the Central Asian temple, the central portal, minarets, domed overlappings are easily combined with elements of the Buddhist pagoda. The roof of the structure with curved up endings covered the building with cylindrical columns. Now we're in a large prayer hall. The length of this hall is 54.5 meters, width is 29 meters, and height is 22 meters. On the second floor, the women were praying, the men were praying on the first floor. In my devotional hours, 1,500 to 1,600 people were accommodated.
Во время молитвы вместилось 1500-1600 человек.
Spacious and quite large for the 19th century, two-level halls for Friday prayers is a synthesis of Central Asia and China cultures. By unique elegance and unsurpassed beauty, Zharkent Mosque has surpassed many temples of the Celestial Empire. And the homeland of the architect even considered that he consciously uncovered the secrets of the building art, and they brutally punished him.
В отчетах у нас было написано, что ему...
In our reports, it was written that his head was cut off, although there are different legends. Some legends say that allegedly he married a local beauty and changed his name and stayed.
Имя и остался.
The wooden church stood during the devastating earthquake of 1910. The solid wooden structure remained practically intact. Only the towers suffered. The cracks appeared on the domes. Nevertheless, with the establishment of the Soviet power and the beginning of the atheist boom, the symbol of Zharkent suffered the fate of many spiritual centers. It was reprofiled. In different years, the building housed a barracks and a vegetable store. In a small mosque, there was a cinema, a summer cinema, and in a big mosque, Juma. The mosque is called this way. There was a grain box and a grain storehouse. Architect Leyla Rahimjanova participated in the restoration of the Zharkent Mosque in the 70s. This was the first attempt to revive the temple after the earthquake in the beginning of the century. At the end of the 60s, only measurements were made. They began to work only in 1975. Leyla Shaimirdianova recalls the observed picture after more than 40 years.
В общем-то, это было грязное помещение. покрытая пылью, следы от мышей и следов.
In general, it was a very dirty room covered with dust. There were many traces of bats. The smell was unpleasant. They certainly flew. The bats did not like that we came. They squeaked, shouted, and rustled. The columns were preserved. In principle, they were wrapped in cloth and painted over with red lacquer. However, they were dirty too. Well, we began to measure them. It was necessary to be restored. Now it looks bright, but all this painting was pale.
Ну, мы начали обмерять, нужно же реставрировать. Сейчас это ярко выглядит, но все вот эти вот, вся эта живопись, она была бледной.
The personal contribution of the architect Leyla Rahimjanova to the restoration of a wooden mosque with a 100-year history is the wooden grills of sun-dried fence of the complex, wooden dragons drawings that did not fit in size, and amazing lanterns that still adorn the temple.
In the
photos I saw there were lanterns. We had a small photograph in the archive, a fragment of this frame. Moreover, thanks to these photos, I made the drawings by proportions, and in principle, then these lanterns appeared just according to my drawings.
Вот эти фонари появились именно по моим чертежам.
When the restoration was completed in 1978, an architectural and art museum was opened in the mosque building. More than 1,000 exhibits are presented here today. Household items and utensils are among them. However, the most valuable exhibit, of course, is the building itself, a wooden masterpiece of the architecture preserved for descendants by those who love and appreciate their city and its history. The search for new ideas in religious buildings construction had never ceased. A century ago, a break of usual patterns was a mosque in the form of a Buddhist pagoda, built by the Chinese architect Han Piquet in Zharkent. After a century, we are amazed at new challenges. It is the mosque of Mashkur Jusup in Pavlodar. The dome of the structure is made in the shape of a yurt's shanrak.
Меня зовут Мумин. Я гость из Таджикистана. Я пришел в гости.
My name is Mumim. I am a guest from Tajikistan. I came on a visit to the city of Pavlodar in Kazakhstan. On Friday, I pray in the mosque of Mashkur Jusup. Everything is beautiful, cozy, and warm here. People beautifully read the Quran. The mosque is beautiful, and the people are sociable. Everything is fine here. The mosque of Mashkur Jusup in Pavlodar is one of the 10 most beautiful in Kazakhstan. The structure is made in the form of a rounded pyramid crowned by a dome in the form of an 8-pointed star. Such a mosque is the only one in the Republic. Tourists and photographers recommend the site as an obligatory place to visit.
Да, я всем гостям, которые, таджики знакомые там,
Yes, I call all guests, my compatriots, Muslims familiar to me, on Friday and invite everyone to come to Mashkur Jusup. Because it is convenient and after namaz we can take a walk there. There is a beautiful park nearby. I like this mosque.
Там возле мечети есть парк. Мне нравится мечеть.
The building of Mashkur Jusup Mosque is built in the form of an 8-pointed star in the size of 48 by 48 meters. The area on which the mosque is located occupies more than 7 hectares. The height of the minaret is 63 meters, the dome made in the shape of Shanirak with a crescent of 54 meters. The prayer hall of the mosque is designed for 1,200 seats. The main mosque of Pavlodar is named after ethnographer and orientalist Mashkur Jusup Kopeyev. The history of Mashkur Jusup Mosque began in the late 90s of the last century. The construction project was started by the author of the capital circus, Almaty Promenade, and a dozen other large objects, the former chief architect of Almaty, the honorary architect of Kazakhstan, Toligien Abildar. It was he who presented the Akim of Pavlodar with dozens of mosque sketches, traditional and modern, his own and others. Among them was a competitive project of a dome mosque with 4 minarets, marked in 1991 by a gold medal of the Union of Architects of the USSR.
Пришлось собрать очень много мечетей
I had to collect many sketches of mosques at my friends who passed the competition. As a result, we assembled many different sketches and stick these reproductions on 3 or 4 canvas stretchers. The sketches and drawings of that mosque for which he got a gold medal were also among other things. We arrived in Pavlodar at the reception to the Akim. Everybody exhibited and began to talk in the lobby. Toligen Abilda was not afraid to experiment. He proposed to abandon the traditional form of the mosque and take as a basis the project that won the all-union competition. The city administrator listened to the architect's opinion and gave complete freedom to creativity and imagination. When I shaped the sketch, at first it turned out to be wide. Then I asked for more time, and when I arrived and already arranged, the first clumsy sketch turned out. It is good that they did not immediately approve it. We have worked out the form, proportions, and have already improved on it, and when we arrived, he had confirmed it. The first foundation stone of Pavlodar's main mosque was laid in 1999. The main works began in 2000. During the construction, the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, visited the object. The grand opening was held on September 21st, 2001. One of the architectural features of the structure is in its form. Depending on the imagination, everyone can see something different in the mosque configuration. For someone, Metal Dome resembles an Arabian cloak. The others find the attributes of Kazakh fairy tale heroes in it, the knight's armor of Batirs, or the national female headwear.
Жалпы қарасаң, Қазан қаласы татар мешіттері, Өзбекстандағы мешіттер бәрі бір типтес, домалақ, мына ұқсап, сәукеле ұқсап, шайып немесе.
If you look that way, the city of Kazan, Tatar mosques, Uzbek mosques are all the same. There are only a few mosques like this one in the form of a helmet or saukile. It is a helmet of fairy tales about Batirs, saukile beauties from love poems, their yurts in an endless steppe. It is a symbol of the Pavlodar region on Saryarka. Now, if you go to any store, there are figurines of our mosque.
The
ornaments that decorate the mosque from the inside increase the inimitable color and elegance of the construction. The patterns in the national style are closely intertwined with religious postulates. The crystal chandelier, Zumrad, gives a special charm to the main hall. It was specially brought to Pavlodar from Uzbekistan.
Мысалы, мына үлкен люстра, мына еконнан 5 тонна салмақты. Анада 546 шам бар. Толығымен жаққанда ана шамдарды.
The chandelier weighs 5 tons. 546 light bulbs are burning there. It is lowered once a year by a special device. They clean it, change the light bulbs, repair, and hang it back. It is a copy of the mosque named after Amir Timur in Samarkand.
Amir Timur немесінің, мешіттің, атындағы мешіттің немесі. Таза соның көшірмесі.
Mosque of Mashkur Jusup is not only a symbol and visiting card of Pavlodar, but also a landmark of all Kazakhstan. In addition to believers, residents and guests of the city enjoy it. In addition, it became a favorite place for the newlyweds.
Главную мечеть города Павлодара видно с разных.
The main mosque in Pavlodar is visible from all parts of the city. Despite the fact that the mosque was built recently, it can be rightly called the main site of the city of Pavlodar. The mosque is located in the central park and covers an area of 6 hectares. The brick is laid to the mosque's basis. Minarets in the main building are made of bricks. Moreover, the metal dome itself is made of metal structures.
Сам же купол выполнен из металлических конструкций.
In modern Kazakhstan, the traditional architecture of religious buildings is sacredly preserved. Modern projects, built according to the canons of age-old traditions, can be found in the parts of the Republic. A vivid example of such a concept is the new mosque in Usk-Kamenogorsk. It was built only 5 years ago. Appearing on the left bank of Irtysh, it boldly blended into the city's architectural ensemble. Located at the key traffic interchange, the spiritual temple is visible from afar and undoubtedly attracts attention. Usk-Kamenogorsk Mosque is the third largest in Kazakhstan. It is the largest in the East Kazakhstan region and rounds out the top 3 leaders after the capitals Hazret Sultan and Nur Astana.
Осы отырған мешітіміз Қалипалтай мешіті 2010 жылы іргетасы қаланды.
The foundation of the mosque in which we are now was laid in 2010. All regional Aksakals, city and region residents came here and made efforts to build this mosque. Now about 3,000 to 4,000 people come to the mosque and read namaz.
Салуға. Халық қазір 3000-ден 4000-ден артық адам осында келіп намаз оқиды.
The mosque construction began in October 2009 and was completed in August 2012. The project was developed by Semyi Stroy Projekt Institute. 4 minarets are with the height of 63 meters. The mosque consists of 5 floors and it is simultaneously ready to accept 3,000 visitors. The temple is made in classical Islamic style with the use of national ornaments and decorative elements. It refers to the type of portal domed and it absorbed the traditions of architectural schools of Central Asia and Persian architecture.
В чем это выражается? Во-первых, это наличие портала.
Wherein is this expressed? At first, I can say about the portal's availability. That is, the entry section is accented with a powerful high entrance. A monumental portal is called pishtak. In addition to this U-shaped frame of this portal is decorated with an epigraphic ornament, that is, with the ornament from Arabic script letters. We see the presence of minarets which continue the Central Asian tradition of decorating religious buildings and framing them with corner columns that were once called guldasta.
Их угловыми колоннами, которые назывались когда-то гульдаста.
There is a lot of symbolism in the architecture of the mosque, built according to classical canons of Islam. The height of the minarets symbolizes the age of Prophet Muhammad. The presence of 5 domes correspond to 5 pillars of Islam. Interior design also corresponds to religious traditions. Geometric and floral patterns are in the decor. Everything is done by hand painting on tiles with gold plating.
Помимо веяний, так скажем, среднеазиатского зодчества, конечно же, мы видим здесь и присущие...
In addition to the trends of Central Asian architecture, of course, we see here the traditions inherent in our region, which, first, were reflected in ornamentation. Because it is the language of the people, and therefore we see it on the columns in the frame and wooden structural elements framing, and not only. Ornamentation of doorways, ornamentation of enclosing elements, ornamentation of walls. All this forms a symbiosis of local culture and historical traditions that were once inherent in the architecture of Kazakhstan.
Которые были присущи в целом архитектуре Казахстана.
Architects have guessed with material selection, the walls of the mosque and the minaret, the portal of the main entrance are faced with a dark red granite. However, titanium nitrate matched for the domes. It has strong and wear-resistant characteristics. Having an incredibly rich blue color, it is inexpressibly combined with the sky.
Biz осыған армандадық, бүкіл халық болып, Шығыс Қазақстан халқы болып, осы мешітке
We all dreamed about such a mosque throughout the East Kazakhstan region. Just look how beautiful it is. All her guests are surprised and happy looking at her. Acoustics is very good inside. It is warm inside, both in winter and in summer. People come here and enjoy it. The mosque is located on the Stilobate. It is a construction of a height of more than 4 meters. This is another finding of local architects. It allowed to create a parking and ancillary facilities, thus vacating the area in front of the main entrance.
То, что мечеть стоит в новой строящейся части нашего города, это...
The fact that the mosque is in a newly built part of the city is wonderful, because there are still no large built-up massifs that would block it. And there's a park next to it where there will be no high-rise construction, which is very important because minarets are an important and interesting symbol not only in the silhouette of the city, but also the visual accent that forms an interesting panorama and perspective and makes our city additionally recognizable. Moreover, I think it is not only an ornament, but in the future, it will be one of the visiting cards of our city.
Но и в будущем одной из визитных карточек нашего города.
Today in Kazakhstan, there are altogether more than 2,500 mosques. Each of them has a unique representation, keeps the history and unique color of the region, the spirit and faith of its architect.